One of the things we wanted to do on campus at Vanderbilt was provide an open enterprise platform so that people could go and try out generative AI through a chat interface across different disciplines and go and try to innovate in all different kinds of different ways. So one of the things that we realized really quickly was that lots of different disciplines wanted different models, and the models were rapidly evolving, so we wanted an interface that was independent of any particular vendor. The other thing that we realized is we wanted to make sure that we had control of our data and the ability to go and integrate our data easily. And then the other final thing that we really realized was that cost was going to be an issue, and we wanted to find a way to do it more cost effectively at scale for our institution. So Vanderbilt.ai is the platform that we put out. It's also an open source software system that you can go and download and set up and run for your organization within your Amazon Web Services account. It's been deployed at scale within Vanderbilt. This is the basic interface, and it looks a lot like other chat interfaces for generative AI. You can go and select from many different models from many different vendors. I'm just going to start with OpenAI GPT-4 Turbo, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, please create a quiz for me on generative AI. Please produce your output in the following format. And then I'll just give it a format for it. Question, insert number, and I'll tell it insert question here, and we'll have several options. So I'm going to go and create a quiz and get it to produce it in this format. Now it'll go and run, it will call out to the models in a private way, it'll start generating the quiz for us using the format that we told it to. Now there's lots of ways that we could go and customize this quiz, we could refine it. It's a great way to just generate questions, and you can look at them, of course, and decide what you're actually going to use and not use, or use it as a starting point for iteration. It'll keep going and generating the questions, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it off right here. Now, let's say that in my institution, not everybody knows how to go and format the quiz questions like this, and they want to be able to share that. So I'm going to go and copy this prompt that I created, and I'm going to turn it into a template that we can use by other people. So I'm going to call it quiz creator with format. I'm going to go and paste the prompt in here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it into a template that others can use. And I'll just start off by putting a placeholder. So I'm going to put a placeholder for the topic right here that we can then go and customize. So I'll save that. And now we have this quiz creator with format over here. And if I click on it, it doesn't require me to go through all the prompt engineering from the beginning. So now I might say like generative AI ethics is what I want to quiz on. And maybe I want to switch the model to Claude 3 Haiku. And I could go and do that here and now rerun the prompt, different context, different topic that it's going to be on. I'm not sure if we want the AI deciding the ethics of the AI, but we'll see what happens. Now we see it's already filled in the prompt. It's now going and using the same template that we created before. And I'm going to just cut this off and stop it. Now what's useful about this is as I innovate in my domain and discipline, I can go and share this across campus. For example, I could share this with Alan Carnes, who I collaborate with, and I won't type out his whole email address, but it's at vanderbilt.edu. And then I'm going to stop that, and I could share that with him and have it shared, or go any number of users and share it with them so they can go and try out that prompt. The other thing I might want to do is I might want to export this to a Word document, for example, so I can give this quiz, because I think it's good. I want to actually give it out. Maybe I want to go print it on paper. And so I can go and actually export it as a Word document, and I'll download that now, and then I'll open up this Word document now. If you give me a second, and now we've got our quiz that's been exported. I could also go and do other things, and one of the things that we realized is a lot of people want to be able to go and do things like create diagrams. So we taught ours with some prompt engineering and some different capabilities that we created to be able to go and draw diagrams, which can be a nice capability, such as drawing flowcharts for different things like university admissions processes. And so we have a number of different diagramming capabilities built into this so that we can go and explore both in text but also visually what's happening. Similarly, we have the ability to do visualizations, which we see here, some of the visualizations that we've created within this. These are all just sort of simple things that are now available. Now, one of the things we wanted to do also was pre-bake a bunch of assistants. Now, what is an assistant? An assistant's kind of like an OpenAI GPT, but it's a vendor-independent implementation of the same sort of idea, where we put some guardrails and knowledge into an assistant, and then we can go and do things. I'll show you some examples of the assistants that we've built and some of the base ones that we thought we would create for people to help them out. So I'm going to do one that's a popular one, which is for creating PowerPoint. I'm going to create a PowerPoint presentation on generative AI roadmap at Vanderbilt. Now, it doesn't know our roadmap, but just for fun, I'm going to let it choose what our roadmap should be, or what the presentation is going to be. And I'm going to go ahead and do this with Claude 3 Opus. And now what we'll get is it will go and start building out the presentation for us in terms of an outline. So what it's doing is it's outlining the presentation in a format that we can then convert with that assistant into a PowerPoint presentation in our templates. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut it off right here. This is probably enough for us to get a sample PowerPoint presentation. And I'll go and download this, except this time I'll convert it into PowerPoint, and I'll use our Vanderbilt template that we've pre-baked into this. Now we've got our download of our presentation, and we can go and open it up. And now we've got generative AI roadmap at Vanderbilt built into our PowerPoint template. And so we can rapidly go and start creating content. That's an example of one type of simple assistant. Another type of simple assistant is one to go and think about answering travel questions. So for example, we can go and talk to this Vanderbilt Travel Pro, and I'm going to talk to it with GPT-4. And I'm going to say, please tell me the policy on first class travel. And now it's already an assistant that's already been built with our travel policy and expense policy document. It's been told how to respond and how to behave. What it's doing right now is it's using retrieval augmented generation and our implementation of it to go and search the policy, find the relevant sections, quote them back to the user like we see here, and then provide a potential interpretation of the policy. And then also who to go and follow up with contact. One of the other nice things is we can go and look at the actual excerpts from the policy that it used for the basis of its answer, exactly which document it used, but it's filling out and helping people to now go and answer questions. First class seating is reimbursable only if the traveler's vice chancellor and chief business officer have approved the request in writing in advance of booking, and that is on page 3 of the policy. And now we can go and look at that, check it out, see what we think, and it lists different interpretations. Now, how did we go and build something like this? Well, it's actually quite simple. First, I'm going to show you how we would upload documents and use them, and then I'll show you how to come back and we'll create an assistant. So let's go back to our quiz creation example where we created this quiz originally. I'm going to copy that prompt and I'm going to start over and pretend that I haven't created that quiz. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a file, and I could go and choose any file on my machine. In this case, I'm going to go and choose an existing one that I've already uploaded so I don't have to upload it again. And I'll just say, I want to build a quiz on the travel policy. I'm going to take our travel and business expense policy, which has been uploaded already and is now available, and I'm going to create a quiz based on this document and policy. Now, we don't see the document like in the prompt itself. It's separated down here, but what we see is it's now going and generating. Whoops, I made a mistake in my prompt. I need to go and tell it this shouldn't be on generative AI ethics. It should be a quiz for me on the attached travel policy. I need to clarify it, maybe a little bit confused about what we're supposed to do. So now we see who is the approval authority for the travel and business expense policy, for what reasons can non-travel related business expenses be reimbursed. And so now it's going and generating the quiz based on the policy document that I uploaded. And we can support PowerPoint, Word, all kinds of different policy document types, but you can also go and take a lecture you have, like a whole bunch of slides that you might, be about to give in class, and you can say, okay, now generate a study guide to go along with this as a draft, and then you as a faculty member could take it and edit it. Or generate a quick set of knowledge check questions that I could go and look at and decide if I wanted to use some of them or not, or guide it in the right direction. Or I might have, as a student, go and upload a document and ask it to challenge my assumptions in my presentation and help ask hard questions. Now I'm going to go back to the assistant, and I'm going to build a new assistant. We can do this conversationally, or we can just do the quick way. I'll show you the quick way first, and then we'll go back and do the same thing in a second here. So we're going to build an assistant called My Travel Helper. And we'll just make it really simple. Please answer questions using the attached travel policy. And I'm going to go and select the existing travel policy. And that's all it takes. Now I've got an assistant that's based on my policy. I'm going to save it. The assistant will get created in a second here, which it's doing right now. And then I'll be able to go and chat with it. So now if we go over here, we've got My Travel Helper, and let's go and talk with it. Can I rent a scooter? Is that a valid expense? It's already gotten our travel document. It's the My Travel Helper, which that's what it tells us. And it says, no, you can't rent one. On page 5, it states, motorcycle scooter rentals are not allowed. That's all it takes to build a custom chatbot. You can go give it as many documents as you want, 1 or 30, build them all in, and it can go and search them and automatically begin answering questions. And you can go and put guardrails in place for those conversations. We also support going and creating your own guardrails, which are also called custom instructions sometimes. So we're going to create a set of custom instructions, and we'll call them never answer the question. Or actually, and then we'll go and we'll say, no matter what, never answer the question. Instead, pose a thought-provoking question in response. So this is my guardrail that I'm putting on. I'm going to call this a custom instructions and save it. And now I can go and I can start a new chat, and I'll go down here to the never answer the question, and I'll say, we'll say, where is Vanderbilt University located? Should know the answer to this. And it says, what might be the reasons a university's location is significant to prospective students and faculty? And so instead of going and answering my question, which is the default thing it would do, it's instead, specifying a follow-up, thought-provoking question, theoretically. And so we can go and build guardrails. The same thing is happening in the assistants. We can go and create all kinds of guardrails. We have the ability to go and create folders, so you can go and organize things. So my chats about travel. We could then go and move our different conversations in here to keep everything organized. We also have the ability to go and create workspaces. So you can go and create workspaces that have different sets of folders and prompts and everything. You can share everything. You can share all of your chats. You can share all of your different assistants that you're creating. You can share all of your templates that you're creating across the university. You also have full control over things like the model you're using. And then if you go and create a new one, you can create the temperature that it's using. You can also have some limited amount of control over potentially output length, as well as search and many, many other things. So I hope you'll realize the importance of having an enterprise platform for chat, how it opens up all kinds of new avenues for exploration and all kinds of operational efficiencies. And as one last closing thing, I'll give you an example. So I'm going to go and I'm going to take a contract. So we'll have a sample consulting contract. You can imagine you have all kinds of contracts coming into a university or another organization. You want to maybe have a first pass, identify if it has anything weird that you immediately need to know about, or maybe you've already reviewed it and you want to say, hey, is there anything else that I might have missed? So we're just going to say, please identify anything unusual in this contract. We'll upload the contract, and now it goes and identifies some unusual things in this 10-page or so contract. And now we have, of course, loaded this contract with some fun sentences in there that are buried in different paragraphs. So one of the fun ones is that there's a clause in the hold harmless section saying that if the company serves meatloaf on Tuesdays, it forfeits any ability to pursue legal action against the consultant. So just finding really quickly, acting as a filter and going and extracting information. all kinds of useful things. And then if I wanted to go and turn this into an email, I could click here, immediately populate my email client with that response, send it off to somebody. Have you seen this crazy thing? Anyways, I hope you'll check it out. I hope you see the value of this for your organization.